As we're approaching 2026, my favourite books of 2025 that I purchased. I'm not going to do ones that I bought obviously in previous years. These are ones 2025. New Trend EC Comics by Grant Gessman. This is a Taschen book. This is absolutely superb. I love this book. Lots and lots of brilliant history about the EC, but it's the new trend. Nothing, obviously, of later. This one is purely a particular period, but still a brilliant, brilliant book. Anything by Taschen is always worth checking out, I think. This is the 45 years Taschen since 1980. I bought loads of these books, DC Finest, and this probably is my favourite, the war one. Now, not particularly into war comics, but yet these stories are really, really great. I just love this sort of format where they've gone for a genre, something that I think that Marvel Comics Epics would be brilliant as well. But sadly, they haven't. And, well, we've got DC doing it, which is great. Of course, we've got the Western one coming up fairly soon, and of course, many others. So I'm looking forward to those. But for me, 2025, this one, the war one, was brilliant. Not a war one, but Superboy. I was waiting for this for ages. I never thought we'd actually see a Superboy one. So it is really great to finally get a DC Finest. Now, it's, of course, only 1954 and 1955, but still full of some really fun stories. And for me, that's really what comics are. Fun, 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 fun. Just with a lot of humour, lots of, certainly do not take themselves seriously. So this is just absolute masterpiece. I would love to see all of these sort of things in DC Finest. Hopefully that does happen. Bought a few omnibuses recently, Marvel ones, and this one, really great. This is a reprint, Tomb of Dracula. This is volume 1. I'm really looking forward to hopefully volume 2, volume 3 as well. Some just absolutely brilliant stories. Great collection of some, well, all the colour ones, lots of colour ones. Now, later ones, of course, the black and white ones, and in many ways I actually preferred the black and white ones, but these ones still just superb artwork, Gene Colan, etc. Just masterpiece. This one is from Dark Horse, The Complete Moon Girl. Not really one that I was expecting to ever see. Of course, this is the pre-trend period. I mean, I hope they produce other ones of course, Land of the Lost, I believe. There's a few other things that would be great to see, but still, Moon Girl, this is absolutely superb. Basically, Wonder Woman, the EC Comics version of Wonder Woman. Really worth checking out. If you can get a copy of this, I think it's just great. Good price, $59.99. I can't remember how much I paid for it in UK, but this one, Moon Girl, really good. Been getting into lots of these films, the Hammer films. Got a couple on. I've got Stolen Face, that's one that's coming soon. I'm looking forward to that. And also Spaceways, so that's another set of Blu-ray that I'm just looking forward to. So Hammer Vault, this just covers all the films of Hammer. Just every page is full of just titles that some you can get readily available on Blu-ray and also 4K. And also, of course, some on DVD. So steadily I've been going through all the ones that are in Hammer Vault. And this is a lovely, lovely volume. Sometimes these omnibuses just get a bit out of hand. I think this is probably pushing the limit. There is also a Kirby one that I think is very similar. It's even heavier than this, the Bronze Age one. But this one, Ditko, really, really impressive. Includes all of the Ditko work. The artwork is superb. I've always liked Ditko. I think these stories are just brilliant. You can see on the back there, just a massive list of all of the various stories. Mystery in Space, Ghosts, Hawk and Dove, loads of different ones. And I think this is a brilliant, brilliant collection. Now, I would love to see more of these sort of ones that are devoted to a particular artist. Gil Kane comes to mind. I must admit, I would love to see a collection of his works. This is a series that's been amazing. Atlas Comics Library, number 6, Shiver As You Read. This is from Fantagraphics. These volumes have been absolutely brilliant. They're done in a way that really I think that many sort of collections should be done. They're cleaned up, but they're basically looking like comics, but slightly oversized, and the stories are just great, full of some really brilliant artists. If you're into sort of horror comics, I think this one is great, but they've been doing lots of others as well. Police Action comes to mind, also Venus, of course, and others. And there's a number of new ones coming up fairly soon. There's a humour one that's coming out. Snafu, I think Snafu is coming up fairly soon. It might even be out. I haven't seen it yet in the shop, but this is number 6. So really worth picking this one up. Vormbodes. This is when I was back in the 70s, I just loved these works. These were just superb. Now, I can't show much of this book. If anything, this book, and I'll probably never do a review of it because it's just full of, well, some really amazing artwork. And this one, definitely worth picking up. A lovely volume. It's real, just quality book throughout. So I'm really pleased to see this finally released, because back in the day, you used to be able to pick up Vornbrodt everywhere. Now, not so easy, but great. This has finally come out, and this one, Vornbrodt's Complete Deadbone Erotica, is definitely worth picking up. Here's another brilliant book, Wonder Woman, The Golden Omnibus, Volume 6. I've been steadily getting these. I've got Volume 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, etc. Hopefully, Volume 7 will come out, and that will be, I think, it. Obviously, goes into the Silver Age Wonder Womans, but I've got those as well, so I'm looking forward to those. These stories are very different from the earlier ones. They're slightly going a bit odd, but they are fascinating because they are so odd. That's the thing about them. They're stories that just sort of make very little sense. I don't think there was ever concern about logic or anything in these. And these Wonder Womans, I think, are just brilliant. And Volume 6 is definitely worth picking up if you're into some slightly weird comics. Definitely Volume 6. A great one. Marvel brings out quite a lot of large volumes. I think this is probably one of the largest ones that certainly I've got, the giant size Marvel. Now, I know at the time when it was announced, a lot of people turned around and said, no, not interested, because of course there's a lot of double dipping. So if you've got, say, the Avengers volumes, you've got the Spider-Man ones, well, probably you've got a lot of these stories. But this is great because it's just a collection of a particular period. And I love these sort of ones where it's sort of themed for giant size. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't include all of the giant size ones. That was corrected recently with a Marvel Team Up, which is a very good volume, but I couldn't really feel that it fits exactly in my best of the 2025. But it doesn't include some of the ones with like Doc Savage and Spidey. But still, I think this volume is really good. And if you like the X-Men, you like all the various stories, the Avengers, Werewolf, Defenders, all those sort of ones, it's just a whole run of different classic stories that I loved at the time when they came out in the 70s. And it's just brilliant that they're included in this. The only pity, as always with these books, is they never include really any essays or sort of introductions or information about the time. And it would be really nice if they'd include a little bit more background to it, and it's just a pity. Anyway, I did love, of course, all the, not just giant size, but all the king size, the annuals, all those sort of ones. I'm surprised that Marvel has never brought out a collection of all those. That would be an interesting one. Of course, lots of them, of course, ended up being, sadly, reprint stories, and this book doesn't include the reprints. Alan Class. I grew up on Alan Class's books in the 70s and 60s. These books were just brilliant. Secrets of the Unknown, Creepy Worlds, all these ones. Well, we've got an annual, and I picked this one up at the London Comic Mart in November, and just brilliant. Really great. It's got some great little stories. It's got a few reprints. It's got also many other sort of stories as well. And also it's got lovely, it's been signed by Alan Class, which is always great. And I think they're great. Al Williamson and many others are also included in this book. So this one is definitely worth picking up if you're a fan of those old brilliant Alan Class ones, black and white. And the great thing about these is that there's some colour in this, as well as black and white, and also a little bit of history behind the scenes about the Alan Class books as well. Again, if you're in the UK, of course, Alan Class ones were just the best. And finally, the Marvel Comics covers of Jack Kirby. I'm really surprised that they haven't brought out any more of these volumes. They seem to have, there was a whole lot of sort of, oh, we're going to bring this out. And there was also a Spider-Man one came out. And I thought, you know what? These look really lovely volumes. And, well, that's it. As far as I'm aware, there's not, because this says volume 1. Is there a volume 2? Is there a volume 3? And also, where's the Gil Kane? Where's the Steranko collection? All those sort of ones would be obvious ones to bring out. And yet, we still haven't got it. Same with Lost Worlds. Seems to be a few. There's 2 volumes out of Lost Worlds. There's so many other ones that I would love to see from Marvel that would be absolutely brilliant. But this one, I think it's great. The covers, Unfortunately, one criticism about this book, sometimes they're quarter-size ones, but you've also got, of course, some of the obviously full-size covers as well. So that is a run-through of what I think are my favourite books that I've got over the year. Now, over the year, I often buy more or less books, depending, of course, what comes out. And also now, probably reached a point where there's not so many omnibuses that I really want. I mean, there's a few that I'm still missing that I would love to see. Ones to be reprinted. The Daredevil comes to mind. Also, Fantastic Four #1. I didn't buy that. I should have bought that. Also, Spider-Man #2. Still hoping that they will bring that out at some point. But there's other things as well, like Foom. Why isn't there a Foom omnibus yet? Really should be. I think that would be just a great collection as well. But anyway, any of the books there that you've bought? Also, please put in the list what sort of books did you buy? I mean, maybe there's something there I've just completely missed, because it's not impossible. I go to the regular shops, the comic shops, I look online, but there's always something that comes out and is released, and then you think, oh, I missed that. And of course, sometimes by that time, of course, it's well out of print, but that's always possible as well. One series that seems to be quite quiet. Oh, you know what? I didn't even include it. And to be honest, it's probably a bit heavy. And that's the Neil Adams collection. One book I completely forgot about. This one, the Neil Adams Classics. This is DC one, and it's amazing. Artist edition, absolutely solid book, really hefty to hold, really worth checking out. Lots and lots of great articles. Neil Adams was just the best as far as I was concerned. So an amazing collection of DC work. But there's not many artisan editions. They seem to have suddenly gone very quiet. Also, of course, Dark Horse and the EC collection. It would be nice to see some additional ones come out from there. Also, of course, the Fantagraphic ones. I know there's probably a few of those brought out, but really, there's not a huge amount of ones that I've really wanted to buy. But I'm always looking around, seeing if there's something. And often, of course, I spot things in the shops. DC Finest is probably the series that I'm most concentrating on now that I've been buying. I'm not buying them all. I just got DC Comics, the Super Friends one. DC Finest, Super Friends. And that's great. But I've only half started reading it, so I'm going to probably do a review of that later. So that is the 2025. I hope we've had an absolutely wonderful 2025. Hopefully 2026 will be absolutely amazing as well. So let's cross fingers. Everything's all okay for 2026. I will be doing another sort of best of. And that's going to be a harder one for me, because it's going to be best of 4Ks and Blu-rays. And I've really watched so many great films recently, so many brilliant things. So I'll be going through those. And also I'll probably do one on CDs. I haven't decided yet. I've bought lots of CDs over this year that I've thoroughly enjoyed as well. The Beatles one, of course, comes to mind. Anthology, Bob Dylan's recent one as well. So there's a few to be included in that as well. So hope you found this of interest. Any thoughts, questions, please put in the comments below. Bye.